Every great film has a story, but it's the sound that makes you feel it. In this episode of The Guest List, we speak with Taurees Habib, the first Pakistani sound engineer to win a Grammy working alongside the legendary Hans Zimmer. Taurees has shaped the sound of blockbusters like Interstellar, Maverick, Dune 1 and Part 2. In this conversation, we talk to him about how he makes his music and, of course, his solo music career. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. How have you been?
I've been good, really busy, really frantically running around after everyone found out what I've been up to. But yeah, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, so speaking of that, I mean, you made history being the first Pakistani sound engineer to win a Grammy. So, I mean, first I want to know why did you keep it hidden for so long, and how did it feel to win a Grammy? And of course, please show it to us. Although we see it there, but yeah,
That thing. Just that little thing there. Oh,
thing
so I mean,
there.
yeah, it's right here. Yeah. Here I can give you a little close up.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Um, it's beautiful. It's very shiny. It's
Yeah.
very heavy too. Yeah, it's got some weight to it. But it wasn't so much that I was keeping it a secret. It's just that I wanted to make sure that everything was sorted out, signed, sealed, and delivered before I made the announcement. So there is sort of an audit process that happens after the winners have been announced, where they kind of confirm the people's contribution and make sure that there's certain qualifying kind of benchmarks that you have to have hit. Like, for example, for engineers, you have to have worked on at least 51% of the runtime of the score, and so verifying that takes a few months. The moment for people to find out was the moment that I had this.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And how did it feel like, when you were unboxing? I mean, we saw the video on your Instagram, but how did it feel? I want to hear it from you.
I mean, it's so weird to have this thing. It's still so weird to have this thing because okay, I'll give myself credit. I must be at least pretty good at what I do to have one of these, but I feel like there's so much that I still have to learn. There's still so much that I want to do. There's still so much that I want to create. And so, yeah, it's kind of surreal, and I'm still trying to figure out how I feel.
So speaking of learning and doing more, so you've been working with Hans Zimmer for a while now. So how did you end up with this gig? And, what have you learned throughout all these years?
I ended up having someone that I knew from school uh, recommend me for a job in Hans Zimmer's sampling department. They forwarded my resume for me. Um, Meanwhile, the person who would eventually become my boss, the person who was going to interview me, went and asked a totally unconnected person, uh, "Hey, we need an audio engineer. Do you know anyone?" And that person was someone who I had just happened to have also interacted with several months prior. And they went, "Oh yeah, this guy Taurees, he's great. Like, we didn't need him at the time, but like if you don't hire him, we will." So I had two completely independent, random people. Of all the people in Los Angeles that they could have mentioned, there's a lot of audio engineers out here. They both said Taurees, and so I walked into that job interview, and I think just those two recommendations kind of did the heavy lifting for me. I just had to prove that wasn't terrible to be around.
Now, talking about Dune 2, you said that you guys outdid yourself, like internally, you guys are talking about it, right? So, I mean,
Yeah,
there's so many different sounds, that are not natural in the movie itself. So, right?
that's a great way to describe it. Yeah,
So how did you create those sounds? And, like, what sort of inspiration went behind that?
I mean, there were we literally I think we made about 300 different virtual instruments for this film. In Dune 1, a really great example is actually there's a lot of these voices that you kind of hear, that it's almost like this language that you can't quite make out,
Exactly.
that it's just these like whispers and chants that are sort of hovering around your ears. And so those are actual, people we actually worked with singers to create those, but we created those before the musical ideas had been developed. So with something like that, for example, um, you're recording that phrase that they're singing, or that, we kind of took words from the Dune universe and stitched it into this mysterious sounding fake language almost. Um, but we actually spent weeks recording all these different phrases in just about every note that each of those singers could sing. So what you're doing is you're capturing every way that they can sing that in their ability. And then you're creating this library. And rather than parsing through the library by, sifting through files or whatever, you're programming that library to be sifted through by like a piano keyboard that's connected to the computer. So when I want I want to hear that chant in the note C, I just hit the C on my keyboard and it plays that note. But we've also built in dynamics. So you can get it in a whisper, you can get it in kind of like a more straightforward sung voice, and then you can also get it in kind of a scream, and you can blend between those. And so you get this very versatile virtual human voice.
अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आ रही है तो अभी सब्सक्राइब करें.
So your new song, it's called Cannibal Cathedral, if I'm not wrong, right?
It is,
Yes,
yeah.
I did my homework. So tell us something about
I appreciate that.
So tell us something about the song. Where did it come from? And how long did it take to create the song itself?
You sing it closer, baby, don't be surprised when you're dancing on the ceiling with the devil beside you.
This song took me a really long time to finish, and I think the original idea for it happened, I think, in 2020. And I was standing in my kitchen getting a snack at like 1 a.m. and I just had the chorus line kind of popped into my head. This, come a little closer, baby, don't be surprised when you're dancing on the ceiling with the devil beside you. I just had that, and I went, that's really cool. I don't know where that came from, but let me, I have hundreds of voice notes in my phone. For every time something pops into my head like that, I sing it into my phone. It wasn't until a couple years later where I said, okay, I've got to do something with this. But it stuck with me. That was something where, had I not recorded that, I think it still would have stuck with me. There's plenty of ideas I get that if I don't record them, I forget them. And I think I wrote about 4 different versions of the song that all felt incredibly different before I landed on this.
That's amazing. So now we also want to see how you create your magic.
Sure.
Slip into the dark and call what you find love. Take a sip of denial and throw your hands up.
I wanted that section to feel really kind of jarring and kind of frightening in a sense. I had this sort of image in my head of this kind of like demonic marching band with horns coming in. So I'll show you another. Here is another example. So I'm going to play the section and then I'll solo the element.
Okay.
But who do you trust and who do you use? There's something about the flashes and noise.
Okay.
So you hear that?
Yeah, I can.
Here, I'll play it through again. If I take all the effects off and kind of show you what it actually is, it is me clicking my mouth. So it's me going. It's crazy what people can do with their voice, and that's also an instrument that only you have. Like this apparatus.
Yeah.
I'm the only person with this specific one. It works a very specific way, and I have a very specific relationship to it. And you know, anyone can go and mess around with it and turn into something, right? But you're never going to get exactly what I did. And to me, that's something that also kind of gives it a sense of ownership, a sense of being something special and really belonging to the piece.
You've been working on Oscar-winning movies like Interstellar and Dune 2 and whatnot, so many names. So which project has been the most challenging one?
I think for me, the most challenging one was probably Man of Steel because that was the first project I ever worked on. So that's where I learned everything. That was where I made a lot of mistakes and had a lot of growing pains and whatnot, but I had a lot of long hours. Um, I would say, though, that if I had to pick something, further down the road, again, Dune 1 and 2,
Yeah.
we were very, very involved in. Those were projects that we had to get really, really good at that, and I mean, we made it out alive, so I guess we did good enough.
Yes, you did. And okay, so if you had to remake or redo a soundtrack for like a classical movie, which one would you pick?
I would love to get to work on the original Alien film.
Okay, and now like how AI is becoming like a thing these days. So how do you see the influence of AI?
It's weird to say this in 2025. Who would have thought the internet would have taken off like it did? Right? I mean, but that's what they were saying back then. They were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this computer stuff, that's not gonna." I mean, that was sort of my understanding was the attitude of some of the people in the industry, and so we didn't do a great job of getting on board and embracing it. And AI is here, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we could either put our heads in the sand and say, "Oh, it's bad. We shouldn't use it," um, or we can sort of try to get ahead of it. And I think one of the things that I'm really concerned about, and a lot of my peers are, is that AI can make all these great tools, but it's the companies that are training AI software that's going to take away creative jobs. If they're training it on your music and then you're losing your job because of that, that doesn't really seem just or fair. There are AI bands and AI artists now, and those
Exactly.
songs are getting plays, and
Exactly.
people are liking it. Um, I think some of the future of it is also in the hands of the consumers, right?
Yes. Yes.
Is authentic. How important is it to the listener whether this was made by a machine or made by a human, right? Uh, I think that is a conversation that should be ongoing, and I think everyone's going to have a different opinion on it.
If you had to pick someone to work with in Pakistan, who would you pick?
The answer I want to give you, I can't give you because it's yeah, it's a story I'm not allowed. It's not my story to tell. But I heard a story. I heard a story about a a very well known Pakistani artist, and that they had made this album that was very very different, kind of dark, and maybe like a little bit heavier, and very sort of unexpected from what people were used to hearing from them, and and for whatever reason, I don't know who around them, whether it was, you know, friends, peers, family, whoever, that they were sort of discouraged from putting it out, and it's kind of this secret lost piece of this, this artist's work. I would love to get the chance to help them bring that to life.
Okay.
So if they're watching this, maybe if they know, if they might know who I'm talking about. So, you know, find me. I'm easy to find. I'm the only Taurees on the internet.
What's next? Where do you see yourself taking your journey?
So right now, kind of coming up, I've got more songs that I'm going to be releasing.
Okay.
I'm going to be putting out singles every couple of weeks for the next few months.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's something that I'm very focused on. I'm very excited for what the single that's already out and for the next one that's coming. I think I'm very proud of the next one that's coming out. Also coming up is Dune 3,
Yes.
and so I think that might be the answer that you were looking for. Um, but that is coming up, and I don't know exactly when, but as far as I know, that is one of the things I should be working on sometime next year.
Thank you so much for giving us time. This was lovely. Thank you for showing us how you make your music also.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad. I'm very happy to share this. I'm glad you got a kick out of it.
Thank you so much. It was lovely having a conversation with you, like always. And hopefully, we'll see you after Dune 3 then.
Yeah, no, you'll see me before. You're gonna see me when the new songs come out.
Oh, yes, that too. Yes, yes. Looking
Yeah,
forward to
yeah.
that.
All right. Bye. Take care.